Welcome to Ascent. Today we have a Divine Masculine Insights reading. This message will be directly from your Divine Masculine's guides. I am going to bless and shuffle, and we will lay out a few cards to receive these messages. If the energies do not resonate, this message is not for you. Am I tripping right now? What the heck is going on? Okay. A celebration, a wedding, graduation, or birth announcement, the need to have more fun. A sudden event that needs immediate attention, time is of the essence, think things through carefully. Alrighty. Okay. Again, this is a message from your Divine Masculine's guides. These are the energies that your Divine Masculine is pretty much dealing with all the time. It's interesting, I had a couple sessions last week wherein this was actually mentioned really specifically now that I'm thinking about it. One of them, I mean, it was like direct, like, wow. Darling, if you're here, this probably is for you. But everybody else, if you've never gotten anything like that, like, oh, I've never even thought about it. Who, what do my Divine Masculine's guides say to him or her, that kind of thing. I think this is going to definitely be an interesting message for you. Again, assuming that those original energies did resonate. Let's go ahead and get some energies, or let's get some cards here. Actually, let me turn these for a second. We'll keep those together. Oof. All right. So, what is this about? What is this about? Okay, interesting. Remember, we started with the Three of Cups. The Five of Cups has the energy of the Three of Cups in the card. You can even see it. 1, 2, 3 spilled cups, 2 cups standing. So the Five of Cups has the energy of both the Three of Cups and the Two of Cups, okay? But this is talking about a change. To me, I see a change of heart. I see what happens when the person in the Five of Cups, they're looking down at the 3 cups spilled over and they're sad. And they turn around and remove their cloak of death and their pain, and then they see the 2 cups that still stand. But the process between them first discovering the 3 spilled cups and then removing their sadness and their pain and beginning to heal or finding a hope to go forward and actually seeing the 2 cups standing, that could take a while because some people grieve differently than others, okay? So just keep all these things in mind. What's back here? Look at that. You're ready. That's 3, 2, 1. Okay, that would be 6 of Cups and the Lovers. So this is important. This is about the decisions that they're going to be making moving forward. But they're ready. They have the resources. They can manifest them. Life is magical. All right. And I think it's important for us right now as Divine Feminines to be finding magic in the little things in our lives. So let's just get this message. I think that this is telling us the divine masculine is about to see the silver lining. There's something in the clouds that's going to capture their eye. You know, like it's like a cloudy day and you're not really paying close attention, you're just zoning off, and then the sun comes out. Maybe there's like this little pocket, and you look up and the clouds are surrounding it, and there's just this little small area where the sun shines through. And it's like, what made me look up in that moment? And there's something really captivating about a shift in the light. So keep that in mind. Now, what is it that we need to know first? What is it? First of all, I think it's a good thing to understand, why are we getting this message? Like, why is it that, how do I say this? Our DM's guides, in many cases, are probably our guides because we're one in the 5D. This could even be the part of ourselves that we are our own guides, like our heavenly spirit nature in the other realm calling out, calling through. Yet I get this sense that it is the ones that are typically there for the DM. I don't know why. It's just, again, it's not a coincidence that I had those calls last week and now I'm thinking, oh yeah, wait a minute. So okay. I think there's more to this than I probably understand. So let me get this message to you guys. So what is it we need to know? You're on the right path. That's why you're getting this message. You need to know that your divine masculine is on the journey right now, and they're at a halfway point. They're at a turning point. But, you know, I see someone driving through California. And I only mention that, or Texas, right? California and Texas are huge states. Or someone driving from the very tip of Miami all the way up until they get up to Jennings, which is this little state or little city as you leave Florida. It's this sense of, I left my home, but my home is big, right? I left my kingdom, but my kingdom is vast. I've been on the road for a long time, but it really doesn't feel like it, because even though I left Miami 8 hours ago, 10 hours ago, I don't remember how long it takes to get from Miami to the edge of Georgia, but it's like, even though I left a while ago, this is my first time saying you're now leaving Florida, or you're now leaving California, you're now leaving Texas. And I don't really feel like I've gone very far. And I don't know why, but I get the sense that your divine masculine looks like they're still in their same state, but they've actually made it a lot farther than you know, a lot farther. So be happy knowing that not only are they on the right path, but so are you. And trust that happy times lie ahead. Why? Because look at what she's holding, 2 vessels. Those 2 cups that still stand, your divine masculine has not yet turned to see them. But without even knowing they exist, they felt the call to take the trip in the first place. Imagine that. It's one thing to go, who was it? Ponce de Leon went out to go and look for the Holy Grail. Okay, great. Of course, you have a great treasure to go seek. Why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? It's another thing when someone's like, I feel a calling in my heart and soul. I don't know why. I can't explain it, but I just know I have to go. That's what your divine masculine has been on. And while you're over here, this shining star and this beautiful, powerful energy, you're going through all this renewal and your spirituality, and you're just this inspiring creature of just, oh, look at you. Your divine masculine, while they are many, many, many things, may not yet realize that they're this, may not even know, may not even, and that is the power. That is the power of your love. That is the power of destiny and fate and all these divine things that lead us forward. It may not always feel good, but your divine masculine's guides, that sounds weird, right? Want you to know they're on the right path. And it's like right as I hit the Florida Georgia line, if you will, or the California and what is that, Nevada, or Texas and, oh no, Oklahoma? I don't know. I didn't learn my states. Look, right as they hit that line, they see something sad, something that reminds them of where they just left, something that scares them, whatever. And that's where they're at right now. They're in this weird place of feeling like, if I just turn back right now, some of them I think are actually further along. Some of them I think are beginning to take off the cloak. And I think even some of them have taken it off already. They're starting to feel happy and light and realize that they should have done this a long time ago, but they still don't even know why. And that's the beauty too, is they may have taken forever to get here, forever to heal, but once they see those 2 cups, so you over here with your 2 cups, make sure that they are standing. Make sure that you haven't knocked them over in sadness like, nope, my DM's never coming around. Make sure you haven't given up on the journey. Make sure that you are watering both your own as well as the neighbor's yard right now. Does that make sense? You don't have to go over there. You don't have to be all in their space, but you can take your hose over their gate because they're on vacation. I don't know why that sounds so weird to me that I said it, but that's what I'm getting. I'm getting, hey neighbor, I'm out of town for a little while. Can you just make sure? And you're like, sure, I got plenty, whatever. I just get this sense of you not taking things, I don't want to say seriously, but just being a little bit lighter, being a little bit more sure of what's to come, or really just, I hate to say this, but if you're new to my channel, if you're new to channels like these where you're getting more of a coaching in the reading than anything, I'm going to take a step back. I'm not talking to you in particular. But those of you who have been around for a long time or, purposely seek out coaching types, style readers or whatever, and you're still like, I don't believe, I don't want this, it's not happening. Like, oh my gosh, some of the comments in the chat for the love letter last week, horrible. And it's like, all it takes is one person to start talking trash about the divine masculine. And then it's like, and I feel like, these very probably sweet, nice, kind people that naturally wouldn't normally do that kind of got together and saw 1, 2, 3, and it was like, let's have a pity party. And it was like, oh my gosh, I want you to make sure you're not doing that. And if you're still here, you've been around the twin flame journey that long and you're still like that, or you've gotten and you've become like that, whether it's bitter or just kind of hopeless, or leave. Because the person that your divine masculine is going to be approaching is going to be the thing that has just driven and motivated them all through the journey. And if they show up and you're not it, they may go elsewhere looking for it. And I'm not talking about show up, commit to you, and then cheat on you. I'm saying if they imagine they got back from somewhere, or they arrive somewhere where their heart feels called, and they look and they are like, oh, I hope it's you, but you are like, nah, not me. I'm mad. I don't want this. You gotta show. No, that's not what they were expecting. And they're going to keep searching, not because they, are like, nah, I don't want that, but because they think, no, this can't be it. This can't be what drove me across all the lands. You know what I'm saying? This can't be it. I must be looking for something different. And they keep going. Again, that's not everybody. And I don't want everyone to, oh no, is my DM going to pass me? I just want you to understand that if you are sitting in your energy and in your space in a really negative mindset, feeling really crappy, really angry with your counterpart, and you haven't worked on those things, or you're getting worse, you haven't realized that you have to be all in or all out of this journey, I'm giving you permission to say all this and go and get. If you're a true twin, you can run away as much as you want and it's never going to get away from you. And I'm not talking about signs and syncs, and you need to look up your reticular activating system and understand why your brain thinks all these obsessive things are actually coming from somewhere else. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is. But if you can't work through some of this stuff and you really think that if you run away, no, Grace, it's not going to let me. No, it's not going to be tomorrow. You're like, oh, I'm free. You're going to have to work at freeing yourself from what you have inundated your life with. Sure. You're going to have to clear your search history. You're going to have to do a lot of things to actually get away from this, not just say F it and move on. But if that is what's holding you back, is the signs and syncs don't end, don't worry, honey. Once you give yourself enough time, give yourself 3 months. Oh, I know some of you are like 3 months. It's like, well, how can you say that I'm telling you you need to stay or to leave, or you're saying, well, I'm out, I can do it. But if I say, well, take 3 months of your time and let yourself be free from this, and then see if you're really stuck, and you think, oh, how could I do that? Well, that means you've never given it enough time to even prove that the signs and syncs are real. And it's not just your brain doing what your brain has been designed to do, which is seeking out the things it knows you need or believe you want or are very important or whatever. 1111 has become your berry, the little berries out in the bush, and your brain remembers where the bush berries are and where the bushes with no berries are. 1111 is your berry. And you don't realize that your brain has been designed to help you find more of what you tell it you need. Our brains were not designed for this era. Our brains, life went too fast and evolved too quickly. And our brains and our bodies and our minds, and we did not. We're overstimulated. Most of us don't even understand how the YouTube algorithm works, how Google AdSense works, and we think it's all spiritual. I'm here to tell you, it's time for you to really decide what path you're on. And that if you decide you don't want to be on the twin flame path, half of it is a digital footprint and has nothing to do with spirituality. From the very first day you said, what is a twin flame? Why do I keep seeing 1111? Whatever. The internet's set you on the path to continue down the path. Don't get it twisted. There's a reason I've been telling you to stop watching tarot. There's a reason why I've been encouraging you to step back. It's because I want those of you who know it's time to walk away and leave this alone can do it. And those of you who say, no, Grace, I can't. I have to stay. I feel this is right. Can find a way to make it healthy. That way, if I say anything crazy, you go, well, that's not me, Grace. So I can continue on my journey just fine. Well, Grace, I'm not even hurt by that. I feel great. I'm not frustrated at all. I only come to tarot truly deep in my heart. I'm not just saying it. I'm not just saying it because it makes me feel good or because I'm trying to make you feel bad. But I can truly say in my heart that I only come here for educational purposes or entertainment purposes. This, I don't let any of this. Personally, I would never watch tarot if I felt that way because to me, it'd be silly, right? Like, other than the fact that I'm a coach, sure, I might listen to someone for that. But even then, if you're really here and you're like, no, I don't really need it. Again, a lot of the stuff that people say when I call them out, a hit dog holler. So the guides, the message is very, very clear here. It says, pick a path and know that if you're here and you're good and you're ready and you trust this and you believe it, guess what? You're on the right path. Stay positive. Make good plans. And if you're not, and the very first card comes out and the 5 of Cups and you're like, oh, please, and everything's just boo, no, you need to get out of this place. This place is toxic and it is not for you. It is time for you to shine like a star. It is time for you to lead the people in your life. It is time for you to trust and believe that everything is working out in your favor and that everything for your perfect union in perfect divine timing is working out. And if you don't believe that, then you need to put yourself into a position in your life where you can believe that. And if the twin flame community or this concept makes you feel like everything is always going to be wrong and never good enough, and you're always going to have to settle, and you got to get out of here because it's going to tear you apart. You want to know why you're getting this message from their guides to you? Well, it's probably because just like so many cultures talk about a star in the sky being the guiding light for people on important journeys, your vibe, if you're a true twin flame, It absolutely needs to attract the right thing. And you need to represent the vibe as well. And if you're not a twin flame, I don't even know what you're doing here, to be honest with you. If you're just, I don't know. If you're not really a twin, then you probably wouldn't even like my readings, just to be real. So it's like, you want me to know that it's okay for me to look for the good, to find the happiness, to trust that things are going to turn out the way I need them to in the long run, as long as I know I'm in my healthiest space. You need me to know that things are getting better every single day, even when I can't feel it. And that my job was never to even help my DM on their journey. The truth was, my job was to be the pillar, the lighthouse, the star, the thing that would guide them home. Have you really been feeling like a star lately? Do you think your energy would be attracting your true divine masculine in their highest vibration? If you don't, you might want to take a step back. Why? Here's a quick message. Because you're going to protect things that you shouldn't and give up on things that you should be protecting. If you're not in the right state of mind, if you're not in the right state of being, if you're not shining, you're going to block things that should be coming through. You're going to surrender things that were yours. You're going to be off because you're going to be so stressed and so tired after doing battle when you were supposed to be at home living your best life that you're going to end up having to fight things that aren't yours, and you're going to get more and more and more tired. You need to believe in your ability to do these things without all the stress and the drama. You need to believe that the twin flame journey was never meant to be toxic, was never meant to hurt you, was never meant to scare you to the point of you can't get out of bed, you can't eat, you can't sleep. You need to be the star, but you can't be the star and go defend the camp and be on the ground being a soldier. You are too wise. You are too divine to be on the ground in this particular battle. Okay? So it's time for you to come into your own, acknowledge who you really are, understand who you are on your divine masculine's journey, and why it's so important for you to stand firm in that truth. Because, wow, in the end, it's what's going to keep you healthy, and what keeps you healthy keeps them healthy. In the end, it's going to help you make better choices, and what helps you make good choices helps them make good choices. It may not always feel like it, especially when you're in separation, but again, you just never know in this day and age what people can see. You never know what people will look back on. Some of you are like, well, my DM can't see me now, so why does it matter? Because one day your Facebook might not be private anymore. Or one day, someone might reshare some, I don't know, snap screenshot. I'm just saying, you need to be doing the right things at all times and thinking about your journey beyond when am I getting into union? And if we're not talking and we're not together, then I don't really need to worry about how my behaviors are influencing my DM. I think there is a little bit of confusion here that's been created, and it's time for us to get back down to the unconditional of it all. It's time for us to understand that while they're healing, we're supposed to be healing as well, or already healed. And if you're not already healed, then don't worry, you've been given the time to heal. But you can't keep sitting in denial and all this illogical, irrational confusion, pointing fingers and being upset or mad or scared and then just denying it. You can't keep doing that to yourself. You can't keep this cycle going. Half of you are in cycles of your own making. Now, there are many of you who are dealing with all kinds of stuff, sure. I'm talking about the mental cycle, particularly associated with your journey. The will they, won't they, the are twin flames even real question, it's too much back and forth. It's time for you to be sure and then to step forward in that surety, knowing your strengths and weaknesses and where you're supposed to move, stay, whatever. Why? Why again? Why are we getting this major message while our DM is about to come, bursting through the door, while our DM is crossing major thresholds, having these breakthroughs? Why is it that we have to just be so firm and strong? And why are we getting this message? Again, I feel like we get messages like this all the time, I guess. We get messages from every angle, but what's so important about now? I don't, there's just something weird going on here. Three of Swords. Well, this is crazy because I said take time to heal, or that this is that it's okay to take the time to heal now if you haven't. And if you think you have, to really take the time to assess. I'm wondering if there is more pain than we are willing to admit here. If there is more sadness, maybe it's not even about something your DM did to you. Maybe you're just not acknowledging how sad being in separation really is for you. Again, I talked about this in a reading a few days ago where it was like, we kind of get into this attitude because, I think it's very common just in our society now to have this very like, I can't really show you my face so you don't know what I'm doing over here, but it's like, girl, I know, right? And it was like this sense sometimes where maybe you listen to a reader who says something like, it's so funny because I think I listened to readings for maybe 3 months, and I listened to them like, it was like 1 or 2, maybe, I don't know, like a week at most. And so I've never gone that far. So when I say readers, I'm either thinking about the like 25, 30 readings I've probably ever watched in my life, or I'm listening to you guys tell me things about readers. And it's like, I get that sometimes there are going to be people out there who have their own thing and we project, right? And so maybe if we've been doing something long enough and we keep getting this message and we get the head pat vibe, like, oh, how cute, little DM, you're still trying, and it makes us feel good that we go with it. And I've noticed that a lot of the people who come from more toxic communities in the twin flame, concept, they tend to have that vibration. And it's like, I think that the ones of you who might be the most hurt right now, the ones of you who might be the most scared right now, like, I think that you're the ones who are the most hurt and don't know it. And I think until you can sit down and stop, hollering, if you will, hit dog holler, if you can sit down and really ask yourself and not just go, well, I know I'm upset, Grace. Avi. No. I know that you know that when you're willing and when you're sad and you allow yourself to feel. I'm saying, have you ever really taken the time to work through it and not just fall apart every so often? There is a difference, okay? So, yeah, if you're on the other side of that spectrum and you're like, well, Grace, I've never really been like that, or I was like that in the beginning, but some of you have been like, actually, Grace, no, your readings have helped, or there's other readers out there who have helped me, who are more positive, or, who do talk about, how to strengthen yourself as a divine feminine or whatever. And it's like, great. But I think that this might even be even harder for you to see, because some people it's hard for them to see because they don't want to admit it. But for some people, it might be hard for them to see because they don't realize it's there. So some of you might be sitting here going, Grace, I don't know why I'm still watching this reading, because most of the things that you're saying, I'm working on being the star, and, I want to make sure I'm making good decisions and, being really as healthy as possible in my journey so I can continue to be the star. And Grace, I don't know, but I'm still here, and I feel like I'm supposed to be here. There's something in there that's just, it's like a conflict generator. It's a unwanted thought generator. It's a fear spiral generator. There's something in there that does lead you back to these readings. There's nothing wrong with you if this is true. There's nothing wrong with you if you just realize that you're one of those toxic DFs. There's nothing wrong with you if you think, Grace, this isn't really resonating. I think I'm okay. Does that mean I'm really missing something? Maybe not. But that's the thing, is that reading shouldn't be the thing that knocks you off and triggers and confuses. That shouldn't happen to you every time you watch a reading and then you come back and you say, oh, I'm good. So if that's the case, be real with yourself, even if you can't be real with us. But if you're asking that question and you know something's up, again, maybe it's not about what they did to you. Maybe it's just about something about being in this situation that sucks butt. And you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like this. But then you're not allowed to say that, or you're not allowed to give up, and then you feel terrible because you're like, I'm not supposed to think like that. There's all kinds of stuff that can make us just have a general feeling of sadness. And I think if the divine masculine is dealing with the 3 cups spilled over, we might be dealing with this part. We might be dealing with unacknowledged pain. Hold on. Up to the Ace of Cups, but I actually need swords. Listen, something has occurred that makes you sad. This may be a current situation or something from your past that has lingered and continues to distress you. Trust that the sadness will pass and you'll eventually see this situation's purpose in your life. Take time to heal, release painful memories, and move bravely forward. Forgiveness is a powerful healer. The need to forgive yourself or others. Don't hold on to the energy of past disappointments or conflict. Remember to forgive yourself for choices you might wish you made differently. You did the best you could at the time. Allow yourself to move on. Misunderstandings, loneliness, relationship concerns, painful revelations. The Magician just came to my mind for some reason. Although you may not feel ready to move forward upon your path, you're actually more prepared than you realize. Leave your doubts behind. Remember to forgive yourself for choices you might wish you'd made differently. You did the best you could at the time. It's time to leave that behind you. One more thing, 5 of Cups. Yeah, things may not have turned out the way you expected. Be careful not to focus too much on the negative, as there's a positive in every situation. I think you're supposed to know that. You may be missing the silver lining. So your DM is just about to see it. I keep getting a lot of these weird messages where it's like the divine masculine is making this turn. And it's like at that turning point, a lot of divine feminines are going to turn and do the opposite of what they're supposed to do. And I think that might be the purpose of my readings in particular, is to come in and say, hey, stop it before you do that impulsive thing. Before you say those words or block that number or whatever you're going to do, wait a second. I don't think that you're supposed to go forward until you do this. Listen, it's healthy to grieve what has been lost and take the time to heal. That's even okay. Oh man, I'm just wondering if there's something really specific here that's saying your divine masculine doesn't know that they're going with the flow right now. So them healing is just like, it's going to just naturally happen. I think that there is something in you. you're fighting. You're fighting. Either you or your 5D, and I think that your DMs, 5D is coming and saying, listen, we are specialists in this, okay? And we needed to come and tell you we've been giving a lot of energy to your DM. We've been helping them do a lot of healing, but now it's really important that we come over here and remind you that you also need to heal as well. What's our final message here? 10 of Wands. And isn't it interesting that we're talking about stress, imbalances? Look at this. Too much work, accept help from others. Life is out of balance, stress-related health concerns. Okay? Health concerns, healing, our path. We've got these energies here of the Wands. I mean, this is definitely a high conflict major part of our life. I think this is saying it is time for you, all the stress you've accumulated while you guys have been in separation, it's time for you to start clearing things out so that you can again refocus on what you're supposed to be. There's something happening that your stress has been blocking your light. That spiral I talked about, this spiral creates this kind of fortress, this wall around you that gets bigger and wider the longer you sit in it. And before long, you're stuck and you don't even know it. I think you're being asked right now to embrace the change. Your divine masculine is doing it. And I know it sucks for some people because they don't believe it. And they're like, Grace, you're just giving them credit. Sometimes it sucks because they do believe it. And they're like, well, why are they finally doing it now that I've given up or now that I'm overwhelmed, now that I feel like I'm stressed? And it's like, I know. I'm sorry. Everybody's journey is different. Every situation you're going to face is different. But it sounds like we all have a similar pattern in these dynamics. Some of you, those patterns are going to freaking impact you way worse because you already had that as a personality trait. Some of you don't get caught up in the twin flame patterns because it wasn't your personality. You want to know why I didn't go too crazy as a twin flame when I was in it in an icky way? When I was in it in a way that I know now wasn't healthy? Because I give 3 days after a breakup, I'm done. 3 days, I'm over it. I move on. I've just always been like that. I don't even know how it happened. It just always has been like that. And on the other side, if someone's not interested in me, okay, I'm not interested in you either. Bye. Like I'm good. I don't chase. I'm over the crush thing. I used to have crushes. Being mixed in the 90s was tough. Didn't fit anywhere. Boys were like, I don't know about you. I get it. Like I feel like I've been in all these little spaces, but because I wasn't a certain type of person, some of the stuff about twin flames just didn't with me as bad as it was with some people. Some of you are like, Grace, oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that. I am always crazy. I do always get like this. I always stress out or, whatever. Some of you are never like this, but your life, this is another thing too, that the DM comes around at a point where life is also crazy. So sometimes we develop a trauma bond, which that's another story. Sometimes we associate the feeling of distress with our counterpart even after the stress is over because they're still not, fixed in our life. So even though everything else is good, because they're the one last piece of the puzzle we said is once this all gets perfect, I'll be happy. We are so unhappy. There are so many things that keep us stressed out. You know what? I'm going to read a random thing. I tell people to do this all the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to search 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands. I'm going to type meaning. I'm going to go enter, and then I'm actually going to go down to the second page. Okay. And technically on my phone, I actually have to just press more results. All right. So let's go here. All right. Ready? This is a message for us. Let's see. Where do I start? This is the final push, struggling under expectations in work, hiding behind our work, using busyness as an excuse, being close to a big accomplishment, and building a more secure future. These are some of the meanings that come with this card. But let's just read it. Let's just say what this says, okay? The Ten of Wands is a card that deals with burdens, busyness, overwhelm. Now, it's funny that the word burden comes because this is exactly what I sensed here. It's something that either, oh my gosh, I just envisioned something. I think it was like a Christian movie where this guy developed like a hump on his back, and then he went somewhere and it was like no matter where he went, nothing would work. And finally, when he like accepted Jesus, the hump just disappeared. And it was like a burden. It was a burden on him. And I think over time, it was like he just kind of got used to it. Sometimes might even have forgotten it was there, kind of thing. You guys ever had something going on in your life and you like maybe like to sleep or watch TV or scroll through your phone because you can forget about it? Some people might even turn to drinking or drugs or sex or whatever. You ever had that thing? It's like that's what I feel is happening. Some of you have been carrying the burden so long you don't even realize it's there or you've forgotten about it just for a little while. Some of you don't even call it your burden anymore. You're like, oh, yeah, that's just my little hump on my back. Yeah, it hurts really bad and everything sucks. But, it's just my hump on my back. It's fine. Like, and some of you, because it's on your back, you don't even realize. You're like, man, I can't stand up straight and my back hurts. And it's weird to lay down at night. But I don't know what it is, And so I got a feeling. Oh my gosh. Okay. They're talking about the Ten of Wands. This is freaking crazy. They're talking about the Ten of Wands in the Rider-Waite, okay, which looks like this, right? I don't know if you can see, but the next sentence is a hunched figure. I'm just thinking about the Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is a popular story. How weird is that? All right. A hunched figure struggles towards a village, pushing a bundle of 10 wands blocking his view. This card represents a final push towards the finish line, as well as the burden of all the actions required in our daily lives. Think about how many wands showed up. Being burdened by this sadness is stopping your inspiration from flowing. Oh, and wow, and that Magician is the final, like, explosive wand card. This is nuts. Of the actions required in our daily lives or not required. Sometimes this can reflect a tendency to hide behind action and hustle and bustle rather than simplify and enjoy life. Sometimes the wands are necessary tasks, and sometimes several or more are inessential. We can put them down, lighten our load, and move forward with more ease. Either way, relief and accomplishment are in sight and very much available with just one more step. For many of you, there is one step you need to take right now that is going to tremendously alter the course of your journey and maybe even your life. For many of you, that one step has to do with altering your perception. And I feel like for some of you, even just hearing that made your heart sink. Because some of you are like, Grace, there's a lot I can do, but there are certain things that I can't do, and I've been avoiding that right there in particular. It's time. Your divine masculines guides are asking you to be the star, to be the light. And they're trying to explain to you that in order for you to be that, so that you can be everything you're needing to be for yourself, for this world, and your DM, you're going to have to lay down those burdens, stand in who you truly are, not in who you think you're supposed to be, maybe because of possibly if we can get to union faster, I'll go this way and maybe that way. Nope. Be everything you are already. Honor yourself. Lay down the burden. Stop fighting the things that don't matter. Pick up the wand of inspiration. Pick up those things that make you feel alive. And on those days where you go, why the frick can't I smile? Or whatever the question is, be willing to finally take the time to put the sticks down, right? Put the wand down, put everything down, and take those swords out of your heart. They're going to become more and more apparent when you get back to doing your truth, being the light that you are. You won't be able to ignore it much longer. And they want you to understand you don't have to feel bad about it. You don't have to be in pain. It doesn't have to be like that. Actually, there is a different way. There is another approach. There is peace. All right. Interesting message. I wonder if there's a divine feminine version of this. Because remember, their guides are coming to you to ask you to do these things for them. They know the turning point is arriving, and the divine masculines will once again need you to lead them or guide them or whatever. If they're not already heading your way and like starting to be like, okay, where am I going? So do what you can, be who you can be in this situation, but take the time to go within, because a part of the divine masculine sadness is your sadness. And a part of them wanting to be with you and love you and help you, but also being able to be themselves, is knowing that they can trust you to be at your best, knowing that if you need them, that they can actually help. And I have a feeling that some of the pain that some of us might be dealing with has nothing to do with our DMs. And until we deal with this, they're going to trigger us really easily. Again, this is that, PTSD, that twin flame PTSD thing I'm talking about, where it's actually other stuff that's triggering you to think, maybe if I just pour more into my twin flame journey, I'll finally be happy. Or maybe if, maybe once I get into union, I'll finally be happy. It's like, there is so much more to it than that. Okay. All right. Oh yeah. I want this and this on the board. This is what I want. Okay. This is what I want on the board. Hello. Welcome. I'm Fire Grace the Gifted. This is my channel on YouTube's. Hello. I'm an intuitive life strategist. I like to help people find strategies, but I use my intuition. It helps you with your life. I have a huge sale going on right now, and if you watch this after that sale has ended, then I'm going back to another pretty decent sale as well. So right now you can get 50% off all my most popular services, and if it's not 50% off, it's like 40 something percent off. Trying to think if there's anything. Love letters, DM readings, personal readings, twin flame contracts. This is, again, a great time. And also phone calls. Phone calls are, several of them are half off right now. So this is a great time to take advantage of some of these things. I think this is also a good time as we're starting to see the world, kind of open back up for many of you to, establish a new sense of purpose for what you're doing. I get this feeling of like the new year coming with this new season. So let me know how I can be of service. I have all kinds of different offerings on my site. And like I said, pretty much everything is on sale right now, especially the most popular stuff. So if you want to work with me, come check me out. You can also send me an email, thefierygrace@gmail.com. I accept Stripe, which accepts like pretty much all major credit cards, and Cash App and Venmo, as well as PayPal. Mr. Lightwork also has a lot of really great sales going on. He is trying to prepare himself a little bit more for his ministry in terms of doing some other types of coaching. And so he has been getting a lot of new work under his belt lately. I say that to say that he is keeping his booking list pretty clear. He's scheduling his calls out for like the very next day. He's doing his readings within a few days. Like, he's on it. And he has this fire in him that I can't quite explain right now. So if I were you, would check out, he has a new website, by the way, mrlightwork.com, MrLightWork, mrlightwork.com. He has a bunch of sales. He just loves doing these sales. Ever since he found out about sales, he just really loved it. I don't know. It's really cute. Anyways, But yeah, check him out because in addition to trying to, rack up these hours of coaching and becoming a master coach, um, he's doing a bunch of like sales and stuff because he's starting to realize that he's actually valuable and he's loving the way he feels after he talks to people. So I don't know. I'm in awe of him. He's been doing such an amazing job. And why not take advantage of the fact that he's got stuff as low as like $30 right now? Like you can get a love letter from him. I don't know his prices. Honestly, I don't know what they are, but I know that he runs different sales all the time. So just go to his website, check it out, follow him, subscribe to my channel too if you like. And just know that there is another perspective out there other than Fiery Grace. There's also a DM perspective out there. So I hope that's a blessing for those of you who might need it. All right, I think that's everything, right? Is that everything? I do readings and I love doing phone calls. Phone calls are always a lot cheaper than readings are because I don't channel over the phone. I don't use cards over the phone. So if you want to work with me. Oh, and also you can get readings right now for like $40 on my website because some of the more affordable readings are half off. I usually don't put certain readings on special, but I decided to go ahead and put some of these. They're shorter, but they're still a great way for people who maybe are like, I can't afford a reading right now, or let me see what you're really about before I make a bigger investment. It's just a great way to get a service done without buying an exclusive, which is already recorded, or having to spend, the amount for like a 30 or 60-minute reading. So I've got some like 10, 15-minute readings, rune readings, one card readings, name analysis. There's all kinds of really cool stuff. So my recommendation to you when you go to my site, and now Mr. Lightwork also uses Shopify. So when you go to our sites, just add a bunch of stuff to your cart because that's where the final price is going to show up. And then just take the stuff off that's like not the price you want or not the value you're looking for. So you can actually be sure that you're getting one of the best deals that's out there. Again, I'm kind of speaking more from personal experience of how I shop. So, just a recommendation. You can always put our services in order by price. You can search. I believe Mr. Lightwork also has a search bar on his website. So you can type in like Divine Masculine. I have other things on my website, all kinds of information. If you use the search bar, there's all kinds of stuff that'll come up. So I think that's everything for real this time. Yep, that sounds good. Be the star, my love. Maybe take some time, look up the star the same way that I just looked up the Ten of Wands. Go to the second page of Google if you do that. That way you're not pulling up the same stuff you like always would look at or sites that are really popular. Like find something obscure. That way you really know if there's a sync or a sign in there that it's actually for you. So maybe look up the star, okay? Because it seems like it's really important right now for us to know what it means to shine for our divine masculines. Is that everything, Grace? Yeah. I love you.